Hey everyone, so I think it's time that you and me, we both had a little bit of conversation. I don't think there are many of you who watch my videos. I think there's like one or two people, or maybe I think it's zero, but it doesn't matter. So today we're gonna be talking about something that is really deep and no one actually ever talks about it. So this video is about why it sucks being the kid of divorced parents. Now, before we jump into that, let's talk about or think about what leads to a divorce. Now, the number one thing that is leads to divorce is arranged marriage. In India, we have a culture in which the parents of two families which are of equal status, the parents and the relatives, they come to a conclusion that the both of their child will get engaged and will get married, and the couple that is about to be married, they only have a glance. Yeah, they have to decide by looking at them by just a glance. So they have to make a decision that is going to change their lives forever just by a glance. I never really understood who came up with this idea of arranged marriage or why is it still a thing. But how can you just decide by a glance that you're gonna be spending the rest of a life with that person? No, you cannot. You cannot just decide by just a glance that how are you gonna spend your whole life with that person just by looking at them. You first have to know them, you have to stay with them, you have to talk about your principles, your ideas, your both ideologies. If they meet, are you both compatible with each other? Anyways, we are going kind of off topic here, but the problem is divorce. Yeah, so arranged marriage is not only the case which leads to divorce, it's also love marriages. So what happens is, after the special feeling that remains between the couple, it kind of changes. Something just happens. You don't feel like you are the special one in the world anymore. It just feels something else. All this fights, all this abuse and everything, it isn't how it started. Definitely. Things just change and you're not in love anymore. Maybe that person you met isn't the person that is meant to be your forever or your lover. It's alright to move on. But what the problem is with the kids. And I really think that you shouldn't be having a kid until you know the person completely and you haven't spent years and years with him and you know everything, almost everything about each other. There are no secrets. You truly love them. Then I think you should plan on having kids. Until then, no, not at all. And in this video, I'm just gonna talk about here's why. Here's what happens after your parents are divorced. And yeah, I suffered the same. I was a victim to this, but I just hope people watch this video or they just don't, or they just wisen up about having a kid, because it really has a huge impact on the child's life. The number one thing that sucks about being a kid who is divorced is that you're a weapon. The kid is a weapon, and I literally mean a weapon. Now, what is the kid a weapon for? Harming the other individuals, using kids' emotion and manipulating the kid. Let me make things more simpler for you. So, my dad always tells me the things that my mom did to him, like your mom is evil, your mom is not good, and stuff like that. And the same thing my mom tells me about my dad, like your dad is evil and he isn't the right person. You probably should stay away from him. They both hate each other and they want their son to hate the other individual too. They want to be the favorite parent of the son or daughter, and this is what almost every divorced parents does. And the end result of it is that the kid ends up hating both of their parents. And this practice is straight up evil, and it is not right for a little child who's at that age. His role is to be happy, living, free child. He probably must be thinking about playing, being carefree, about food or some stuff like that. But no, he's not allowed. Everything their parents did bad to each other. He has to know and he has to suffer. Why? Because their parents hate each other. That's why. Number two, people are judgmental and they ask you weird bad questions. Now, I have been asked many times, where is your dad? Or where is your mom? Or why are not they together ever? Or they just start talking weird shit about you. They ask this kind of questions which are straight up disrespectful and which are unethical, and that question makes the child question himself. What have I done to be in this place? I never did any wrong. They're the ones fighting, so why am I being blamed for it? Or why am I being held accountable? So let's just keep it at that people are really douchebags sometimes. But that brings me to point number 3, bullying. Now, I have been called a lot of things in my school and the place where I used to go to tuition. Now, people many times they called me orphan. There were some people, and there were people that also laughed at me and they told me that, yeah, your parents are divorced. What a loser. His parents are divorced. His parents even can stay together. That was kind of a common thing and I hated it. I hated it. Now, at that time, I didn't practice jiu-jitsu or I didn't do MMA, but if I did at that time, I don't think anybody would have ever accused me or bullied me. Now, on to the next thing. Thing number 4, your relatives. The people that are connected. Now, the people that are related to my mother, they always talk dirty stuff, shit about my father. And from on the father's side, they do the same thing. They are always on me. They talk wild, evil shit about my mother and their family, always. Now, what do I have to do with this? Why does a kid has to know what's going on between each of them, and why are they brainwashing, harassing a kid, a small innocent kid, due to their hate towards the other family or their hate towards each other? The kid has nothing to do with it, so you better leave the kid alone. Also, guys, I want to tell you, if you don't want to hear something, just tell the other person to shut up and leave yourself alone from that person. Just stand up for yourself and don't hear the things that you don't want to hear. If a conversation makes you uncomfortable, insecure, or disgusted, get out of that conversation and simply ignore it and just stop it. Tell the other person to stop. That will save you a lot of depression and it will save you a lot from manipulation and other stuff like that. Another thing, you don't feel loved at all. There is an African proverb, a saying that goes like, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down just to feel its warmth. And I think that proverb is really true. You just don't get the love that you should get from a mother and father. All they do is talk bad stuff about each other. This is also a really important thing that happens. The child is not raised properly. So what happens is, between this mess and between the jobs that both the parents have, what happens to the child is nothing. He remains underdeveloped, his brain remains, his personality, everything doesn't sit right. Because both the parents have a job, and when they are free from the job and when they come home, all they do is, you know what I'm saying, bash each other. So instead of teaching children valuable lessons, instead of telling the children stories of Lord Buddha, Lord Krishna, Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ, they just tell something that is traumatic and emotionally damaging to that child. Instead of making the children ready to face the world and putting good virtues in them, teaching them some valuable skills, teaching them manners, instead of making them a pioneer of a better world, what happens is the kid, he just remains left out, underdeveloped and childish. People take him for granted. Even teachers despise him. Even teachers bully him. They talk about how this kid is so unfortunate and how he will never be successful in his life or he's gonna end up being a big mess or miserable. And all he has is fake friends, the friends that are there for money, the friends that are there because he has PlayStation, he has video games. They have a purpose in their mind. And due to his lack of understanding of how to face the world, everything's a mess, and it takes a lot of time for him to finally figure out something. And it's too late when he finally understands that this world is a very cruel place, and people who smile at you, who talk with you politely, or they are being hypocritical, they try to be friends with you, but they are not being friends with you because of you. They have something in mind, and that something is what good can you or your things do to them, how they can use you, in what way, in what circumstances, in what way can they manipulate and use you for their benefit. And that's it. After their job is done, you're nothing but irrelevant. You suddenly become a nobody from a friend, you become a stranger from a friend. So teaching a kid lessons is also a very important thing. And I don't know, it just sucks being abused all the time and living and growing in an abusive house. So all you guys have to gotta find a way, you gotta figure out a way to maintain peace of mind, how to not have quarrel with others, and how to, if you do, stay away from them and maintain the peace of mind. And these are the 5 reasons that sucks being a kid of a divorced parents. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There was nothing to enjoy here, to be honest. There was just cold-hearted truth. But I feel like you and me, we both gotta have some connections, like creator and audience. And this is the kind of thing that I never in my life, never, ever talked about with somebody. So why don't I talk with you all? This is something that makes me feel like I gotta open up more and be myself. And I made this video so that you would understand being in my shoes. And the same things won't happen to you if you listen to me and if you just find a way to figure things out. And I, in this video, tried to figure things out for you, that if you are suffering from anything, just you can let me know in the comment section and we can talk. And I know for sure we would figure something out which will be really good, and it would work out definitely. So this is just the end of the video. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Bye.